Hi, today I want to talk to you about the infrared grill from Char-Broil. This grill has a unique feature in that the flames that come up from the barbecue do not make direct contact with the food. Instead, they use what's called radiant or infrared heat. So my main purpose for making this video is that I had a flash fire from this barbecue grill, and I want to talk about how to properly clean it, at least the technique that I use, to try to avoid having these flash fires. So that's what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to disassemble this, properly clean it so that you can avoid having a flash fire. So the first step you want to do is you want to remove these top grills off of here to expose the infrared sheet of metal that they have underneath us on these Char-Broil grills. So what I do is I take a pair of pliers and I just grip the lip somewhere in the middle of this top grill, gently pull it up, and I set it to the side. There are two of these grills in here. Pull out the second one, put it to the side. The first thing that I do, and if you make close note, you'll see that there are these holes here where the infrared or the radiant heat comes out, but all these areas are blocked. One of the biggest culprits of this is any sort of chicken you might cook that still has a skin on it. It leaves a lot of grease behind. This is the area here. This is the type of grease that caused it to have a flash fire, and I had to use a fire extinguisher to put out the barbecue. Very dangerous situation, something you should be strongly warned against. I'm going to show you now how I clean this. Basically, I get my putty knife, and I go right along here, and I use the pliers in one hand to hold any of the area here on the grill steady, while I use the other one to scrape. So as you scrape, you want to get as much of this grease off of here as possible. Now, a special note is you're never going to expose all of the holes. This is, in my opinion, a flaw with this barbecue. You're never going to get all these holes back exposed, so you end up losing some of the radiant heat. So what you want to do is you want to scrape until you get as much of this towards the back as you can. Don't push it too far because there are holes in the back where all the grime will fall into your barbecue. So you continue scraping that. And you can see that there's a lot of grease left on here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue scraping this, and then we'll move on to the next phase of cleaning. You're going to do this on both sides. There are two individual trays in here. Both sides need to have everything scraped back to the back, not too far, but just sitting towards the back. So we're at the point now where we've gotten all of the debris scraped to the very far back side of all of these metal grates. So now what we need to do is we need to dump that somewhere so that we can continue our cleaning process. So what I do is I take the pliers again and I grab somewhere here on the metal, carefully raise it up and bring it out. You want to make sure you don't dump any of this down these holes, otherwise it winds up in your barbecue. So I'm going to take each one of these trays and I'm going to dump this debris somewhere, and then after that we're going to continue on with cleaning the actual grills themselves. So both of the trays have been removed from the barbecue, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here and I'm going to dump it into an area so that we can get these grills cleaned off. So I just flip it upside down, shake it a little bit so that any of the debris goes down through these holes. And the next part you want to do is flip this over, because on the back here there's even more grease buildup. So I take the edge of this putty knife, scrape it down here into each one of these crevices. Then you also take the flat part of it and scrape it. You can see there's a lot of grease buildup on the back of these. This again can contribute to a flash fire, and I strongly recommend you clean as much of this off as you can. And again, you just scrape it, let it go down through these holes. So that's how you can do it. I'm going to continue with this one here. Then when we come back, I'll show you how to clean the top grills. So now that the radiant heat grill has been cleaned off, you can see all the debris has been taken out of this and dumped. You go ahead and you place it carefully back into the barbecue, one on each side, using your pliers. So again, the pliers are really handy because you don't get your hands dirty, and they fit everything in nicely. So now you have these two panels with all the debris gone, and the next step you need to do is clean the top grills that go on top of each one of these. So what I do is I use the pliers again. I just grab the grill I move it over to a location where I'm going to clean it. First thing I do is I just sort of knock it on the ground one time. You can see there's a lot of debris in between here. Again, this will cause a flash fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock this on the ground, knock all the debris out. That's just one hit. The important part now is you take your putty knife and you put it at an angle in between the slats, rub up and down. This will knock all of the grease off between them. And you keep going through each one of these sections until you work your way all the way across. So again, you put it in, turn it to the side so that the top part and the bottom part are at angles, and it helps scrape all of the debris off of this grill. I'm going to go ahead and continue doing this whole thing. I'll also do the second one, and then we'll come back and we'll install them back into the barbecue, and that should pretty much wrap it up. So we're done cleaning these top grills, and now I'm just going to use my pliers again, somewhere right in the middle, lift it up, and it goes right back on here. You'll notice on this barbecue it has three metal slots here. It goes right into here. Use that in, and we'll do the next one. Now those are all back in. It's all nice and clean, and you should be able to avoid any sort of flash fires. Now, again, I'm not saying this isn't a good barbecue. I think this is a great barbecue. But anytime you have any of these barbecues that are using this infrared or radiant heat technology, my caution to you is to please keep it as clean as possible. You can use the technique that I've presented here. If you don't, you could run the possible problem of having a flash fire. And it's a very dangerous situation. I was able to put it out with the fire extinguisher, but believe me, it wasn't any fun at all. So thank you very much for watching.